Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys, girls, mammies and grandpappies, he, him, they, them, everyone in the whole circle of life. Welcome to another Sideline Junkies Podcast Network production brought to you by Clear Production Sports. On this day, we call it Friday Eve. It's the day before the weekend. People go around the water coolers. They stop. They start talking. And everybody's saying Thursday night throwdown. Yeah. And that's how we start this, baby. It's Thursday. It's what we do. We don't talk about it until after we do the yeah. But tonight I got my man Jack Carr, probably on this side. Whatever side I point to is going to be the wrong way. Because I took the mirror bank function off. We got the big guy KG. Big guy. Can you talk to me?
I'm around here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. 10-4, good buddy.
Sorry about the no face, no case, but I'm having some technical difficulties right about now. Trying to figure that out. But hey, I'm here. Let's be clear. It's a Thursday night throwdown. Glad to be here. Gentlemen, how y'all feeling tonight?
Doing good, man. Just ready for tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir. All good.
I'm ready for Saturday. Let's say that. Because Saturday is going to be epic in so many ways. We get a night preseason game where it's supposed to be. So 7 o'clock, I'm going to have my face in the place. And then we got the WrestleManiacs coming up at 9:30. So yeah.
Yeah. What else you got going on?
Well, I got some family time playing on Saturday. Got some things to do. Spend some time with children. The boss BJ's on special assignment doing the exact same thing right now. Spending time even with the family. But as promised, he did give me a response to the question about Buffalo making the playoffs. So I do have that loaded up and ready to go. But before we get into that, Midnight Rider.
Yes, sir.
Brandon Ayuk. I mean, he has a deal in place, and they waiting on him to say okay. Hit me on that deal, man, with Pittsburgh.
I don't know who Brandon Ayuk is. If I did know the name of the person that sung the Hokey Pokey, that's what I would call Brandon Ayuk at this point in time. I mean, 1 minute he got his right foot in, then he got his right foot out. Then he turns himself around and shakes it all about. I don't know what's going on. But basically the way this deal is structured, it's or the way it's set up, Pittsburgh is going to give up. They want like Fitzpatrick. They want a significant player from Pittsburgh and a second round pick. And I think that's what's really holding up the deal is trying to agree on the player that's coming back and the draft compensation. Both teams have supposedly have deals in place with Ayuk. And I guess the function or the whole thing of that's holding us up is him figuring out if he wants to stay a 49er and if he wants to go to Pittsburgh, what is Pittsburgh going to actually give up? That's what I have heard so far in the rumblings in the background. So we're kind of just at his beck and call to see when he wants to make up his mind and go from there. Jack?
Yeah, I seriously don't think Ayuk's going back to San Fran. I think the Steelers deal, I haven't seen any numbers yet, but I think the Steelers need him more than the Niners do. Who the Steelers got?
George Pickens,
Van Jefferson, and Calvin Austin.
And then you got Frymouth and company behind that.
But they need Ayuk in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
More than San Francisco needs him, in my opinion.
Who's going to give him the football?
I don't know why he's staying there. Who's going to give him the football? It's going to be Russ. It's going to be Russ over there in Pittsburgh. I don't understand, if the 49ers offer is Probably not as much as the Steelers is why he's not jumping on the 49ers deal, but yet I still have not heard numbers.
You're not.
So I can't judge why he's not going back to San Fran. Maybe he's got beef with somebody over there. You know, these wide receivers, some of them can be prima donnas. So
Well, I think
see.
I'm sorry, KG. Go ahead.
I'll say this. The report came out today that Justin Fields has been fielding punts and kicks. He's been out at wide receiver. They have no plan on using him at quarterback whatsoever, but they want to get the bang for their buck. So expect Justin Fields to be probably a wide receiver at some point. He's going to be your Arnaz Battle.
I wouldn't take that too seriously because from the pictures that I saw, it looked like it was the beginning of practice. And you know how guys mess around and catch the balls from people and you throw passes, and the wide receivers think they can play quarterback and they throwing you the football. I don't remember who the source was on it, on what I saw, but I didn't put too much into it. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could see him playing another position.
I could be wrong as well.
I think he's a talented athlete.
I think the Arnaz Battle thing went over everybody's head.
No, it didn't. Notre Dame quarterback number 3. I know he actually played in San Francisco.
And then they had that boy that came to Pittsburgh out of Colorado that played wide receiver.
Cordell Stewart.
Cordell? Yeah.
Cordell Stewart. Yep. Slam.
So it's not impossible.
Well,
if the boy wants playing time, he'll do whatever.
Totally agree.
Hey,
I think
one of the greats. Go ahead. I'm lagging apparently.
No, I say expect something crazy once we get in the season, because right now I think teams are just kind of toying with the kickoffs, but I think you're gonna see some different things, and I think that's part of the idea that maybe you saw Justin Fields back catching kickoffs is because maybe they're gonna do like the what's it called, the Tennessee Miracle or Miracle.
Start throwing the ball backwards.
Yeah, Music City Miracle. Thank you.
Well, they had Wycheck do that.
Mm-hmm.
He was quarterback.
I mean, if you ever remember the game that that was a punt, but there was that game that the Redskins played the Falcons, and B. Mitch catches it and throws it back across the field to Desmond Howard. Of course, Desmond Howard goes and scores, and then Dion says, "Well, watch this." And then Dion goes out, catches the kickoff, and takes it back 98 yards himself. So it's going to be different. This is going to be a whole different environment with this kickoff game. So yeah, that's just going to be the gist of it right now.
Go ahead. I had to switch things here. Maybe we can get a little bit more going.
I know what you did. You good. I saw it. But I mean, that's pretty much all we have right now on the Ayuk deal. Let's go ahead and hit the next thing.
Uh-oh.
That's not a good sound.
Hold fast. I think y'all can hear me. I can't hear you. Hold on. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
We can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Now, what I was saying is, if you remember, it was a point in time where certain quarterback wanted to get on the field, and he did the same thing, returning punts, kicks, and things like that. And he went on to become the starter later on down the line.
Are we talking about Joey T?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Nah, Perry, I ain't got a rotary phone this time. It's just I'm having all my setup is all messed up. So I'm trying to figure that out.
We might as well go back to when we used to talk about the gerbils.
Oh man, that seems like
the hamsters on the wheel, baby. You got up that water count. Get them some Perrier or something. Them hamsters ain't running for no deer park.
I'm glad you said that, Perry, because that's our next topic. RG3 out. Him and what's her name? Ponder. They're both
Yeah.
out at ESPN.
Yes.
Um,
Beautiful thing.
Explain, please. I'm all
No,
in.
I'm talking about for the Sam Ponder point. I'm glad she's gone. She was just annoying. She annoyed me. It seemed like she had certain agendas that she wanted to push, and I get it. You're on a topic show. You're giving your opinion, but I don't know. It's just certain people when they're doing that, they're doing those talks or they're having those conversations. Sometimes it feels a little self-righteous. You know what I'm saying? Or self-aggrandizing. So that's the only reason I was like, I wasn't a big fan of hers. RG3, I thought he was good. I actually like listening to him do games. I mean, I think he did stick a little too far or stay too far in the sophomore lane, with the orgy in the end zone, the big Phoenix energy, stuff like that as the staples.
Wait. He wasn't the only one that did the big Phoenix engine. Big Phoenix energy. Desmond Howard too.
Right, but Desmond Howard isn't broadcasting the game. He's on a show where you're out there for 4 hours and you're trying to entertain people. Like I think that's the difference. It's not the comment itself, is where the comment is placed at.
But I thought Desmond Howard was the first one to do it.
Well, they supposedly, shout out to my boy Chris Russell. He actually said this on his show earlier that RG dropped it in 2023, right when he first got there, and then I think Desmond Howard brought it back later on, was last season, and then we jumped on it because we had some fun with it as well because he was always the top guy on the top 5 QB list.
Yep. Perry says cuts are coming. Antonio said budget cuts just business. And I don't feel bad for RG3 because he has a lane that he can stick to and he can make some dollars. Because he can still do he has a podcast that that's actually sponsored. So he doesn't really need ESPN to sustain income. I'm sure somebody else, FS1 or whoever, hire him, good at what he does.
I think all he has to do to stick at a network is just call the game, give us your knowledge, save some of the hacky stuff, unless you're on the desk. Like if you're on Monday Night Countdown, which you won't be, but when you're on those type of shows, you can have the hacky stuff. But when you're doing the game, people just want the game for the most part. You can have those, those uproars like Gus Johnson, how he gets amped up and things of that nature. But I think people just really want the game at that point.
See, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say 2 things actually. I don't have a problem with how he calls a game because he talks about so much insight when he calls a game, and a lot of people don't, especially people in this area, didn't appreciate Gus Johnson when he worked at Channel 5. I just wanted to say that.
What you got, Jack?
I think RG3 might have a better shot doing college ball. I didn't like him as calling a game. I didn't mind him when he first came out. He was just doing some studio work during the week, I think, and I thought he was fine there. But like you say, during the game, we ain't got all this room for all these stories, man. Just call the game.
Hey, that only works in baseball rainouts.
Yeah.
Or NFL preseason games.
Well, yeah, that's why I love Joe Theismann in the preseason. Him and Charles Mann down the sidelines, it's absolutely hilarious.
Theismann used to kill me, man.
I love it. I love his commentary. I guess I'm on that boat by myself.
No, I like Theismann.
Sure.
I mean, Theismann's best days was the Sunday night games with Mike Patrick. That was one of the A crews, right? Well, they were B probably to Madden and Summerall.
Mm-hmm.
They were top of the line. I mean,
he did a lot.
You didn't watch Sunday Night Football without those two for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they were our first 2 commentators. I think the only thing they messed up is when they added what's the guy that used to be the kicker in Cincinnati? McGuire. I think he was the only one I didn't really like.
Perry say, got to hit my homie / Fred up that produces Freddie and Harry and make sure he's safe. Been calling him during cut time for the past 5 years. I hope he is safe. I hate these times because you'll have people that you really, really like, and those will be the ones that get cut. But the ones that you don't really care for are the ones that continue on. That's like when ESPN, ABC, Disney, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same company. When they broke up, Mark Jackson, Mike Breen, and Jeff Van Gundy, I felt that was like the dumbest move. That's your top team right there. You know, it's not like you're going to bring back Hubie Brown and Van Gundy or Hubie Brown and anybody. Because I love Hubie. We're not getting Dr. Jack back. He's not coming back through that door unless we got a Ouija board. But when it comes down to these cut times, they cut the best teams that everybody tunes in for. Sometimes you don't tune in for the game. You tune in for the commentators. And it's been like that for eons. Whether it was Madden and Summerall or Greg Gumbel and Iron Eagle, whoever, it didn't matter. You tune in sometimes just for those guys. Perry says, I can see him at FS1. I'm tongue-tied today, man. What the hell is going on?
Definitely.
He said Gus is a treasure. I was a fan of Gus Johnson when he did the weekend anchor at Channel 5 back in like the early 90s. That's when I first got a hold of how great he was.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Perry, you said Freddie and Harry. Is that Harry Douglas? And I can't think of the guy Freddie's last name. Pop a note in there for me on that. But I mean, I don't know. I think sometimes some crews play out their time. So sometimes you got to let somebody else come in and give a different perspective. Because again, like I say a lot of times on the show, we're aging out of the demographic that they're trying to talk to. So some of the stuff that we grew up or we grew accustomed to, some of that's gonna go away to Dodo Bird, and they're gonna start making new adjustments and trying to attract another part of the audience. I'm still nervous because I haven't seen who Notre Dame has calling their games this year. I hope we're heavy on Tirico and not on Jay Collinsworth. Good gosh.
Well, I can tell you, it won't be Alan Pinkett. We're not getting.
He does their radio, so I'm not worried about that.
Oh, God. I remember we used to have Jim Gray on the sidelines. Who was in the booth back then?
I think it was Don Criqui.
What? And oh man, speaking of college football, I seen Michigan. They be doing promos of Michigan on NBC. I'm like, whoa, Michigan ain't supposed to be over here. This Notre Dame territory. Take your heads back over to ABC where you belong.
No. NBC picked up a college program, so I think they have the Big Ten at night now. I think they have their primetime game. Am I right, Jack?
Yeah, I did hear that. But speaking of Michigan, did you see Harbaugh gave Cap a coaching position?
Yes. He offered it.
Did he accept it? I know he offered it. I don't know if he accepted it.
I don't know either, but that's something. That's his guy. Cap was his quarterback back when he went to the bowl, right?
Yep.
Last time Harbaugh was here, Cap was with him. So that's just Harbaugh showing loyalty, to the honest truth. Showing loyalty to one of his guys, one of his soldiers, you know. I don't think Kaepernick should have been blackballed out of the NFL. It's a shame because we'll never see what he could have been. I'm not saying he'd have been the greatest. I'm not saying he'd been Tom Brady. But I think Cap would have showed us some good football for another 5 to 8 years.
I believe that. Agree with it. And I said my piece on it when I said that if you look at it, under Harbaugh, I think he lost, 3-4 games under Harbaugh those 2 years? And then you had new coaches come in and Chip Kelly and Tom Sula, and they did not use him right. They tried to keep him in the pocket. But everybody blamed the losing on him. But we're not going to get into that. I digress. Couple of comments. Matty Ice said it's what ESPN does. They cut the big salary people. And unfortunately, it's always the good people that got the big salaries. Perry says it's Coleman. Freddie Coleman. They do an afternoon show.
Freddie Coleman or the other guy?
It's Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas. I know now. I know the show he's talking about.
And he said, true, because McAfee is not for many reasons. Yeah, I mean, McAfee, I can't get into his show. It's hard to take him seriously, doing a WWE thing. But his show, it has ebbs and flows. Certain things he does is, okay, I like that, but I can't listen to him on a regular basis.
He's growing on me, though. I tell you, I didn't like him at all. But this season, he's growing on me. And last year on game day, he is what game day needs, to tell you the truth. I mean, you got the old guy, Corso. He done, man. I mean, God bless the guy. He's been great for college game day. He's an icon. But they needed
no, they didn't need an injection of youth.
Then they needed a change. And McAfee's a good fit. He can get wild with all those students at the locations they're at. It's going to be good. Hell, I think I seen him do a belly flop off one of the boats last year.
Tennessee, I think it was.
It was awesome. And that's kind of when I started saying, he ain't so bad. His show, go ahead. Okay. His daily show is, depending on the topic and depending on if they're on your side of your opinion or not, it can be a good show or an okay show. So I'm down with Pat McAfee a little bit.
Antonio said Cap needs to take that job. I hope he does take it. I hope he does.
That's his gateway to stay in football. And
yeah,
because and like I tell people this all the time, sometimes one of the biggest mistakes that young quarterbacks, especially the African American ones, make is they don't get tight with the OC. If you get tight with your offensive coordinator or your quarterback's coach, most of the time they'll let you travel with them. I mean, let's look at the kid that the Commanders just signed on Thursday, Trace McSorley. Trace he's only there just to be a camp arm because now Mariota may not be able to go. So you don't want to be just Driscoll and Daniels. So you sign him. Yeah, he kind of knows the play.
Alabama?
Penn State. Undersized kid, Penn State QB. He's just one of those guys that he kind of he's not good enough to be a starter. He's not really good enough to be a backup. But if he's your third, you're okay. But you're hoping he's your third and he's only playing like the next 2 quarters. You don't need him playing. You don't need him playing a whole lot of games. Plus, I think the other thing that helped is he probably still lives in Ashburn because he grew up in Ashburn. And it was probably an easy ride for him down the street and sign his contract and get on the plane. It was probably convenience.
Perry said about McAfee, he said, you're not young, white, and bro enough. And he's perfect. His show, though. Yeah, I mean, game day, he's great on game day. He's even great. He's pretty, I ain't gonna say great. He ain't no JR or no King. He not even Michael Cole, but he's pretty good on WWE as well. I'll give him that. But I think he fits in better with game day. It's like he fits in with the college atmosphere.
Right.
James said they making cuts to bring Skip in. I think Skip Bayless has his run of success is over. I'm sorry, but his run of success is done.
I'd have to disagree with you a little bit on that. I think there's still a group of people that are entertained by Skip Bayless, and I think he can find his lane either through a high production podcast. That way, he can do it when he wants to do it. He can bring in guests, and I think he can still remain relevant for those that enjoy his product. I mean, all these guys can do that. Once you reach a certain level of success, you're going to get a sponsor. So now you got a sponsored podcast. You start bringing in some money, and you can do it for 2-3 years or do it the rest of the time. I mean, your favorite guy, Jason Whitlock, does a podcast. And I know you subscribe. You probably even make donations to it, KG. But I'm just saying.
If I listen to anything that has Jason Whitlock on it, it's nothing but dead air. James said that was a joke.
We know.
Perry said McAfee is for the Barstool generation. Yeah, and you know what? I used to like Barstool, and then I got off of Barstool. They said something that I didn't like, and then the founder of Barstool, he said a couple of things I didn't like, and he took it all racial on something, and he was criticizing somebody. I can't even remember what it was, and I go on a block spree. If you say something I don't like, and it's within reason. Like, I mean, people say stuff I don't like all the time, but you say something that's really, really hardcore, that's like out of left field, and you can't clean that up, and it shows who you are. Rather than follow you or see anything, I block everything about you. So, Perry says Skip will be on DraftKings like the Golets. Watch, and that's another thing. I like Golet. Of course, I like Golet. I mean, of course I do. But I like both Golets. What was the other? It was one that played with Cleveland. Yeah, one. Yeah, Mike played with Philadelphia. His brother played with Cleveland. What was his brother's name? God, help me out. It came out.
You got me on that one.
Wasn't it Bob Golick?
Bob Golick. That Bob Golick was my favorite. Bob was always my favorite.
Yeah, from Cleveland.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about. That's a nice little precursor, little foreshadowing there, my friend.
Hey, I'm good at what I do. Let's get through these comments real quick.
They coming in.
He was good on Raw. Talking about McAfee. He sounds forced now, not natural. He said probably something racist. Yeah, it was. It was something racist that came out of Barstool, and I was like, yeah, I can't rock with him no more. He said Brogen. Yeah.
Fill me in. What's Brogen?
That's his new generation. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. James says I hate him too. Fucking eat a slice of pizza.
Nah, he gotta take the first. He only takes a bite. That's the bit, and it gets him over because nobody else is doing it. And now you start seeing. Actually, I think he spawned a cast of people, doing food, like eating, just going somewhere, taking a bite, and rating it. We went from Yelp to the visual version of Yelp.
Yeah.
He got like chime time in his car, and yeah.
Now, don't get me started on Chime Time. Chime Time been on point. It's only one thing that he messed up on. That's when he was talking about Jiffy's on Allentown Road. I was like, yo, you are bugging. You talk about steak and cheese, and you talk about Jiffy's nasty. Hey, dog, what did you get on this naked ass steak?
But he gave him. What? Ho. You mad because he bombed the steak and cheese, but he gave the pizza a great review.
Who goes to Jiffy's for pizza? I've never had anything with Jiffy's other than steak and cheese.
I mean, that steak and cheese I saw, it looked a little. I was with him
because he didn't.
I got a steak and cheese from a place called Walters, right there by Nats Park. That joint was just like regular. It wasn't nothing special.
See, let me tell you something. And I know we can off on a tangent, but we got to keep it quick. A Jiffy steak and cheese. B talking about, oh man, you shouldn't have to put all that on the steak and cheese. You can't eat a steak and cheese from anywhere naked. Are you gonna make a steak and then put it on a piece of bread and just eat it? That's just like eating 2 pieces of cardboard. Please stop.
What all do you put on your steak and cheese though, man? You might get carried away.
Probably does.
When I go to Jiffy's, it's got to be the same. Steak and cheese, American cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, extra mayonnaise, double fried onions, and a little bit of hot peppers. That's all I need. And if I'm feeling froggy, I might get pickles.
Steak and cheese needs provolone.
No.
Oh, you got to put peppers and onions on there for Big Man. Nah, I just like lettuce, mayonnaise, provolone cheese.
I do provolone if my wife wants a piece of it. I'll do provolone for her. But hey, my mom's got me hooked on that. So it's the only way I know how to eat a steak and cheese from Jiffy's. And it's like, and then you get a large order of fries where they put the cup in the bag and then dump all the fries in there. And you got to have like 3 people to help you eat them fries. Yeah.
Like Five Guys does. Yeah.
Matty Ice said anyone can have a podcast now, though. Yeah, they can.
What are you saying, Matty?
Watch it, man.
You better step.
Perry says, love Mike and Mike Jr. Their show is dope. I haven't. I'm gonna have to listen to that.
I never heard of it.
Not brothers, Oz, the son. It's the son, not the brother. It's the son. Okay, yeah. No, that's when you talk about the Golix, yeah. And it's Dave Pointing. Yeah, that's the dude from Barstool. Perry says anyone can have one. The key is maintaining one. Yes, indeed. Because guess what? I've seen people start out. I'm gonna start a podcast. They get 6 episodes in because they don't have 500 listens and 1,000 subscribers. They mad. I don't want to do this no more. Man, we've been at this since 2017. We are in year 7 and ain't got no signs of slowing up. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We're gonna be in this thing for the long haul, baby. And James says, no place like Capital Carryout. RIP.
Yeah, I ain't heard that in a minute.
And Perry said, and what they can flip it into. Yeah, you can take a podcast, you can flip that into a lot of things, man. Now, here's the question of the night. As the boss BJ was supposed to be rocking with us tonight, he's spending family time, so we can't hold him down for that. But I asked him a question. And I said, B. Oh, Perry says exactly. I said, B, they said your boys only going to win 4 games this year. They ain't going to make the playoffs. I said, Buffalo's going to win 4 games. I said, do you think Buffalo makes the playoffs? Ladies and gentlemen, the boss BJ.
So the question was posed to me, do I think the Buffalo Bills in this 24-25 season have a chance at the playoffs? And I'll say one thing, number 17. As long as Joshua Patrick Allen lines up the center, the Buffalo Bills will always have a chance. They will always have a window. I think a lot of people are making a big deal out of Stephon Diggs leaving. Stevie Johnson said something really good today. I don't know the exact quote, but he was basically saying that with that gone, and I've said this before on the show, that you're not looking for somebody to force the ball to. If you have to force the ball to somebody for production, that's not true production. True production is getting open without having to be force fed. That's not the mark of a great receiver. And I'm not trying to shit on Stephon Diggs, but Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, they've had their moments in Buffalo, and that's come to an end. But I think people are underestimating what they got, and I think they're overreacting to the new receivers that are being brought in weekly. It's camp, it's preseason. You're working some guys out. You're trying to fill holes. For the lock, you got Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, and I believe those are your 3 locks. Of course, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid at the tight end. I think people forget about that they have 2 grade A tight ends, and that they're trying to implement that more into the offense, a kind of a Kansas City style, what they do with Kelsey and Mahomes. And then you still got James Cook back there. I think this offense is primed to go, and people are still forgetting you still have an MVP caliber quarterback that's ready to go now, that you don't have to worry about a guy blowing up on the sidelines because he didn't get the ball, or, the play wasn't ran for him. You don't have to worry about that. And Sean McDermott has said it. A couple of Buffalo, media people have said it. That selfishness in the wide receiver room and in the locker room is gone. So I think you get this offense comes out and they are way more relaxed, and they flow better, and they just look like they're having a good time in camp. And it's gonna take a couple weeks for Curtis Samuel to get acclimated with the game speed with Josh Allen, and Keon Coleman to get his rookie legs underneath him. We know what we're getting with Khalil Shakir. You kind of saw it at the end of the season with him, and I think that's a go. Unfortunately, the news came today that Matt Milano will be missing probably until December with a torn tricep, and that's unfortunate. It seemed like he's been kind of bitten by the injury bug the last couple of seasons, and he's the key part of the defense, not a key part. He is the part. So I'm hoping he makes a speedy recovery and comes back and can help us out towards the end of the season. But yeah, I think, and I'm putting the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC East this year until somebody else proves me wrong.
That was the boss BJ with his assessment of the Buffalo Bills. Perry, chime right in. Wild pick. Buffalo finished in 4th place in the AFC East. That's wild.
I don't see that. They're not going to finish below the Patriots.
I don't think the
Yeah,
Patriots. The
I was trying to
Patriots.
think who it was.
Patriots not in that division?
Yeah, the
No, they
Patriots. I think the Patriots be the bottom of the barrel.
Myself. No, what's up with that? Go ahead.
Buffalo playoffs. And Perry said the coaching staff will be the reason that they don't make the playoffs.
I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine. They lost Stephon Diggs. So what? Does that mean they're not making the playoffs because they lost Stephon Diggs? I think this wide receiver core is fine. I like to see Curtis Samuels getting more balls thrown his way. I've always been a Curtis Samuels fan. I think it killed him in Washington. You know, they give him the first 3 out of 4 balls come out to him, and then they don't throw to him the rest of the damn game. It never made me no sense. And they even got that Valdez Scanlon boy. I think he can do fine on the fly routes. I don't see a problem. I think Miami's going to win the division, but I think Buffalo's going to get a wild card.
So you believe in Miami beyond the month of December? Because they're another team that they're good until
They
November.
got a tough schedule coming in the winter. And, the Jets only going as far as Rodgers takes them, in my opinion. Rodgers got to put 21 points up a game because that defense is stingy over there in New York. But I just don't see – I don't know if Aaron's going to play a whole year. You can't put all your eggs in Aaron Rodgers' basket at the age he is. I know they did. Yeah. I know they did. But I'm not thinking he's going to be the guy that's going to dominate this division. I think it's going to be Miami and Buffalo, just like it's been for the past couple of years.
Barry say, as much as I hate the Pats, ... Matty Ice said, yes, but teams like the Jets, Chargers, and Raiders could get in, and the Bills could be out.
So Matty want to be on the Gardner Minshew train because that's the only way they're making the playoffs.
And speaking of which, let me say this real quick. Matty Ice, I need you to send a smoke signal or something over to the Raiders and ask them why in the world do they have Ethan Peterman in camp? That dude shouldn't. Never mind. Anyway, Antonio says Josh Allen would do enough to get them in the playoffs. James King asked the question. So Buffalo over the Jets?
Yes.
Okay.
I say yes.
Perry said that's my problem with my Jets. Antonio says Aaron Rodgers wants to be in politics, not football. And Perry says they got everything, but I don't trust a 40-year-old Rodgers. Yeah, and who do you have behind Rodgers? Who do you have backing Rodgers up that you can actually say, hey, I can I can actually depend on this guy if Rodgers goes down.
You know they got Tyrod, right?
Yeah.
Tyrod's only as good until he gets hurt again.
Well, yeah, but see, here's the thing. If Rodgers gets hurt and he becomes the starter, who's the third quarterback?
Well, technically, you'd be asking who's the starter because within 2 or 3 weeks, Tyrod will be hurt again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's the third quarterback? Because if Rodgers goes down, Tyrod has to start. Whoever's behind him is.
I know they have. I can't remember who the kid was that played last week. I know there's Adrian Martinez, the kid from the UFL, XFL, USFL, something FL, that was at Nebraska for 18 years. I know he's there as like their fourth. And then you also have Jordan Travis, who's still recovering from his leg injury, who probably won't see the field until probably like week 9 or 10. So, I mean, there's some people there. How good are they? Then the better question might become, how good do they have to be when you got Sauce Gardner, you got the Williams boys, you got you just have a team loaded with talent on the defensive side, Will McDonald and those guys. I mean, this team could basically be in a situation where if they can just put up, like you say, 17 points.
17, 20 points.
They might win 10, 11 ball games. I mean, we just saw Cleveland win 11 ball games with four quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And Joe Flacco, too, including Joe Flacco.
Right. And they got hot because the man that looks like Tarzan actually played like Tarzan and not like Jane. So
I love that analogy.
Hey man, David Njoku is a freak of nature.
And they got that nice running back over there too. I see somebody just mentioned him.
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall.
Yeah.
State, I believe. He's nice.
Hey, you guys, Brees Hall is going to be the star, but wait till you get a chance to watch Braylon Allen, the kid from Wisconsin, his backup. They're going to have a nice 1-2 punch there.
Oh yeah, Allen, nice too. And you know, are they going to run him running back by committee? You know, two, or are they going to run one till the other gets hurt? You know, I like the two running back system. I do. I mean, you might not get your 1,000-yard rushers because they'll both get 750 yards, but I like the dual running back system.
I think Brees is electric enough that you got to feature him more. So I think it's more of a 60-40 type of situation than a 50-50 for my money.
Once he breaks that line of scrimmage, once he gets past that line of scrimmage, he can take it to the house.
Right.
He turns edge, he's gone.
Matty Ice said need bodies in camp. That's why Peterman's there. Okay, Matty, that's not even a body. That's a Perry and James both said Terod. Perry also said best QB move that they made is the kid from Florida State, but he ain't healthy. Said third string QB.
You gotta worry about the only thing you gotta worry about with Travis is his arm strength gonna be enough at this level?
I mean,
Travis from Florida State.
Yeah.
I ain't got much hope for him.
Career with a bum shoulder where he couldn't throw the ball over 30 yards and after that shoulder injury. And, Chad Pennington was a dog when it came to throwing the deep ball. But when he hurt his shoulder, he had to start throwing the short and the intermediate balls. But he still had a career after that. If he can make it like that, I think anybody can. Not saying any knock against Chad Pennington, but he showed that it's possible not to be able to throw a deep ball and still have a successful career.
But that's a byproduct of the times, because that's when you had the running backs that were the main factor. They were factor backs then. So you ran the ball 300 times. So all he had to do was a couple times throw an out route way before the wide receiver broke and let the ball land in his hands as he's tapping toes and going out of bounds. This ain't that NFL anymore.
Okay. And well, yeah, you got that right because, this is 2024, not 1994.
Right.
Which seems like it was just yesterday, but we talking 30 years. Perry said Brees Hall at the running back. All they need is a competent QB to play. Did not need Rodgers. No running back by committee. It's all Hall. All right. Now, last but not least, Midnight Rider said this, and he loved through his list of great teams that had runs with no playoff success.
And let me clear this up a little bit, because I'm talking about teams that were good, and you may have thought they could have been championship teams, but they didn't make it to like the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say Super Bowl or the NBA Finals. I'm gonna say that because that way that gives us a little bit bigger of a window, or the World Series. Just teams that got close but never got over the hump, but they had strings of success. We're talking about teams that win 10, 11 ball games in NFL. You win in 90 plus ball games in MLB. You're winning 50 to 60 ball games in the NBA, but you just can't get there. And we can just do it rapid. We can just go around. Everybody says a name, and then we just keep going to the next. And you just give a little explanation. We don't have to do it like list style where it's like at number 5. We don't have to do that.
But we got a couple of comments. And
some good answers too.
Terry stole my thunder. The Milwaukee Bucks 80 to 84. Those Don Nelson Bucks, man. Paul Pressey, Craig Hodges, Terry Cummings. Absolute monster, but nobody talks about them when they talk about the great teams of the 80s.
Because they never got there.
Yeah. James says Dallas. I mean, pick a year. Another great team in the 80s and early 90s. Knicks, Atlanta Hawks. C-Web's Kings.
KG. KG.
Yeah.
You gotta let us go first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can't let
They're
them-
naming all our joints.
yeah, you can't let them take our names.
Yeah. Was that
Hey,
Run DMC back then?
Matt, you want to start?
Say again?
You want to start it?
Yeah, sure. Team I was thinking about was back in the 2000s. The Chargers had a solid little run from 2006, 2005, 2006, 2007, 14-2, and then go in first round exit by the Patriots. That's right about when the Patriots started their dynasty, early 2000s. But Patriots did not win the Super Bowl that year. And then the following year, again, knocked out by the Patriots, first round. And a lot of talent on that Chargers team, man. You had Sean Merriman loading up the defense, plenty of other defensive stars on the team, Phillip Rivers, and then you had, Super Bowl, league MVP for 2006, LaDainian Tomlinson. Well, that team right there, I thought was a disappointment. Should have done more.
They robbed themselves because one of those Patriot losses, they're up with 3 minutes left. Brady throws the interception. The safety's running it back, and then he gets stripped, and New England recovers the fumble, and then goes down the field and scores the game-winning touchdown field goal.
Field goal it was. Yep.
That was the worst right there.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Brown shit luck they had with the 2 fumbles, and then the drive.
Yep.
They couldn't get over the Denver Broncos.
So I was going to say the Buddy Ryan leg Eagles. Because that team, for 2 or 3 years with that defense, they were right in the miss. I mean, one year they lose because of fog, not being able to really see. The next year, I think they got blown out. The turmoil between the coaches kind of fed into it. Then they also lost Jerome Brown in the midst of that run. That's one of them that I thought of. The other team I thought about, or I have more, but the Lob City Clippers is another group of players where they should have been in the final. But for some reason, they just couldn't get over that hump. And then the other thing I would put in this is Chris Paul's hamstring. Somehow he always has a hamstring in like game 5 of a 7-game series, and he's gone for the last 2 games. So I think he's one of the big disappointments. He had a great run, and then when he gets in the playoffs, it's bye-bye hammy or bye-bye wrist or whatever it is. You got something for me, KG?
I would say the early 2000s, I'll say from 2002 to 2005. No, take it back in further. Let's say 2000 to 2005 Colts. They used to be number 1 in offense. Peyton Manning was marching the team up and down the field, but they never could get past the Patriots.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But could. Also, the early 90s Oilers, when you had that run and shoot, Mouse Davis run and shoot offense with 5 receivers that could take the top off of defense. A Hall of Fame quarterback who at one point in time was the most prolific passer in pro football history. Surpassed since by Henry Burns. I think somebody else passed. But you had a run game with Pinkett from Spear. There was another Smith.
Hey, KG, we're starting to lose you. Hit the next comment and let's read a couple of comments if we have something.
Peace.
All right, so Maddie says Raiders 2001 win the Super Bowl if not for the damn tuck rule. Quite possible.
Yeah.
Cleveland Indians, the strike year. This one is near and dear to my heart because I also say that same year the Montreal Expos. After that, the league takes over the Expos and sells off every one of those great players for ham and cheese sandwiches and Doritos. We got another one. Run TMC. That's a great one.
Yep.
The Knicks. I think he just means that eternally because
Yeah.
the Knicks always. Sorry, Perry. Browns are a great pick. Great one, MR.
Okay, MR.
Marino's Dolphins, yes. Now,
Mhm.
this is a team. I always talk about this team whenever I get in arguments. And I think Jack and I had this argument on the All In Sports show.
Quarterback.
Because I always talk about Marino as one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. His
I
problem
respect it.
is you can't tell me or name the running backs that Miami had during his run because they were all garbage. Like they may run for 1,000 yards, but only got 1,000 yards because somebody had to carry the football.
Name one. I'll wait.
Like Bobby Humphrey, Sammy Smith,
Sammy
some
Smith
guy
was
with
probably one of their
concussion.
better ones.
And then the defense, it was always like two good players, and then everybody else. I don't know, man. But I'm gonna get off that soapbox.
But you said Marino was better than Montana.
I'll take Marino any day.
No.
Because you're looking at it like this. I'm looking at it as I got Marino. I can put all these other great players around him. If I got Marino throwing to Randy Moss, I got Marino throwing to. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
We living the high life. I got
the Duper. Duper's just as
no
good.
team.
He had Mark Duper. He had Clayton.
Nah, this different.
Duper
They
just as
don't
good.
hit like Randy Moss or what you call it.
Wait.
Again,
Are you slighting the Mark brothers?
Oh gosh, here we go.
Ha!
Captain History.
But are you slighting the Mark
I'm not
brothers?
slighting them. I'm just saying that we're comparing those two players to
Those
guys
two
like
players.
Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, guys that are Hall of Famers. If they slight it, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, and your feelings ain't one.
Okay. Perry said Lob City only made the second round once, which is a shame.
I wish Perry, I could find all those people that told me Lob City was going to make LA Clippers country.
No. He said can't count teams that won a chip like the Colts because they still broke
the same thing, Perry. I agree.
Okay, I give you that.
You don't listen to directions.
I thought the same thing, but I let it roll, Perry.
I mean, if I didn't listen to directions, man. Or a team that made the championship but didn't win. He say anyway.
Let's go, baby. Who else can I think of? You said the Hawks. Let's just bring it home. The Wizard Bill Wizards, or even better yet, the Big Three Wizards.
They didn't even get close.
Yeah,
So
the Big Three
Bill
was
and Wall.
got cheated.
How they get cheated?
The Big
Crab
Three.
dribble.
Okay. All right. They call it?
Of course they didn't call it. It was against the King. You think they're really gonna call it? Really?
Hey, I feel bad for you, son.
Oh, jeez. James King said facts and agree. Marino, this one right here. Talent-wise, Marino over Joe. I don't know if I can go.
I'm telling y'all, Perry Jones is a smart man.
I don't know if I can agree. I mean,
Talent-wise, yeah, you said, come on, we're not doing this. What are we doing here?
Listen to what I'm saying. I love Joe Montana. I love Dan Marino, but I can't take Joe. Take the championships off the table.
It's a flick of the wrist. Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna find new friends. I'm gonna go find Skip Bayless. Me and Skip Bayless gonna do a show.
Yeah, and so y'all can hate on LeBron together, right? Perry say not even close. He said, did they even make the playoffs? If you talking about the Big Three Wizards, yeah, they was in the playoffs every year. Damn near. It was a call here, maybe a piece there. It's always something. It's always something. We got any more?
I mean, you could name a couple more. You can just say, well, because they said there's the breakthrough, I won't say the Caps. Perennial winners.
Caps were on that edge for years, though.
Yeah,
I would say the 80s Caps. The Caps in the 80s, which never got through, they had some good teams, but they were always out in the middle of the playoffs. They would make the playoffs, but they just wouldn't go far. I think that, what was it? The Kozik team was the one that had the breakthrough. But before that, there's a lot of nights you watch them lose to the Islanders in 3
Rangers
overtimes.
and Penguins, Islanders and Penguins. Yep.
Yeah, that would
Well,
be
you know-
another one. We didn't say many baseball ones, so I'll go with outside of the Indians and whatchamacallit. But if we talking about the championship game and not breaking through, I would say the Yankees the last 3 years. The Yankees have been a top team and having
Top
made it
payroll.
through. You know, them
Yeah,
and the
we should-
Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers won one, so I can't say the Dodgers.
I wish you could see what I was that me giving you that one finger salute right about now.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean that's what I got right there. Fly Sama Jamma. That's a great one.
Yep. When they went to 3 Final Fours and lost all 3?
Yep. Either in the semis or the championship game. That's a great one.
And then you know, I don't want to start a new one here in our hometown, but if the Orioles don't come in the playoffs this year and produce, we starting a trend here.
Well, you had that trend with that team before with Chris Davis and company.
Last year's playoffs for the Birds wasn't what any of us expected. I don't even think it was what any of the experts expected. It was an egg. They laid it.
Yep.
And they got to come in here this year with a little bit more experience, but they still got young players that haven't been there again. Half their roster is, young boys brought up. So I just look forward to them not getting in that category.
Ooh. And then we can talk about the 80s San Diego Chargers. I mean, they're a 13-degree game away from getting to the bowl.
Yeah.
But probably one of the more talented teams.
James says the 90s Nets with Petrovich. I swear, I said this not even 2 weeks ago.
That's your guy.
I said if Petro didn't die, you had Petro, Derek Coleman, Kenny Anderson, Chris Morris, a healthy Sam Bowie, and then you had guys you had Chris Dudley coming off the bench. You had a pretty good team, but your core was going to be Derek Coleman, who at the time was a 20-10 man.
Yes, sir.
Kenny Anderson had some of the best handles I've ever seen. I used to imitate Kenny Anderson even when he was at Georgia Tech. Petro could light it up. He could play defense. He could light it up and trash talk in 4 different languages. Beautiful. If he would have been able, if he wouldn't have passed and they came back, I think they would have gave the East a run for their money. Just being honest. Perry says, hell, the Dan Fouts charge. Yep, that's what we just talked about.
Yeah. Yes, that was on the tip of my tongue.
Yep.
Anybody got anything else?
Them Chargers back then, they was exciting as hell to watch. And I'm sure everybody remembers that game with the Chargers and the Dolphins. What was that, 3 overtimes or so? Kellen Winslow getting lifted off the field every play. That was an amazing game and a hell of a Fouts, Air Coryell, San Diego Chargers memory right there.
Well, you know who Fouts' mentor was, right?
Oh, boy.
No, not a fan.
His mentor was actually Johnny Unitas.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
The great Johnny Unitas.
That's a good mentor.
And Joe Gibbs was the OC. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, y'all. We got to wrap this thing up. WNBA starting back up. That's my final thought. So
yeah, they're playing right now.
We got to. I want to keep an eye on this whole Las Vegas Aces Becky Hammond thing. There's lawsuits going on, so I want to be able to come back hopefully either Sunday or Tuesday about that. But yeah, what you fellas got?
Well, the Aces got to start playing ball if they want to come back for that another championship. And you had a topic listed for tonight. Maybe we can push it till Sunday. Something about Wizards #1 pick. They are.
Oh yeah.
I got a lot more to go with that, so we can put that on another show.
Put that on Sunday, because I wanted to hear what y'all had to say about that. They talking about they shouldn't have got Koulibaly,
among others, for 20 years.
Let's put a pin in that.
Please.
Yeah, because I want to hear what the Midnight Rider got to say, because the Midnight Rider talks about Koulibaly like that's,
Young
Oh, he-
he talk
fundamentals.
about Koulibaly like that's one of his kids.
Oh, Kispert the same way. He like all them scrubs.
Oh,
I
no,
don't like
don't get me wrong.
Oh, but
Here's the
y'all,
thing.
you like all them. Yeah, you
I
pointing the
said
right way
something about
now.
Kispert.
No.
You're pointing the right way now.
No. You're not. You're not paying attention, Jack.
You like all them scrubs.
There's no Odd V love here. There's no Kispert. Nah, I think that's KG's guy, Kispert.
Kispert is due for a breakout. Let's go.
That's the guy that you meant to say. I know what you heard, but that's who you meant.
Okay, my bad. But I mean, I got a list. I got a list of their picks, man, for the last 25 years, and you got 8 All-Stars out of 25 years of picks. That sucks.
Well, I mean,
Well, they never stick with him.
I mean, you got to talk about it now. I mean, you look at the Commanders the last 4 years. I mean, the Ron Rivera era, you might walk away with only 2 or 3 of their draft picks of the 4 years are actually either still with the team or making an impact on the team. So,
Right.
Yeah, we can talk about draft. Period.
We need
DC
to hire
draft.
some new scouts or something.
Let me write that down. We're gonna talk some Wizards and some DC draft, and
All right.
also I just had something else that I wanted to throw.
Oh, and tell BJ them yellow jerseys were ugly.
y'all.
I gotta watch your game. I'm about to watch that. Once we get the post show.
Perry said 1A Knicks talk coming back soon. Keep you posted. Please do. I can't wait. Like, we getting ready to get into that time of year where we got college football, pro football, basketball's coming back. College basketball is gonna be starting up. We're gonna have like the EA Sports Maui Invitational and things
That'll
of
be
the sort.
around November, Thanksgiving time.
Yes. This is a great time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And I want to give a big shout out to our people here, Perry, James, and Matty Ice. Thank y'all for being with us. Y'all ride with us. You're a ride or die fans. We appreciate y'all being here every show, and all the comments and stuff is awesome, man. Thanks, guys.
And Antonio Boone too. He was in there too.
All right, I see Boone in there. Thanks, Antonio.
Because he know Ohio State coming up. He a big Buckeyes guy. We might have to try to see if we can get him to do a preview for us for college football for the Buckeyes.
What's a Buckeye?
It's a nut, ain't it?
A worthless nut is what it says.
So
Now,
you guys don't watch. There's a guy. I don't know if it's TikTok or if it's a reel, but it's a Southern guy that goes through and does like it's him playing 3 different characters, and they talk about how teams came up with their mascots.
Okay.
All the college teams, and he's like, one of them is like Penn State, and he's like, what are we going to be? Oh, we're going to be a lion. Okay, because there's a lot of lions in Penn State. He's like, not just any lion. We're going to be a Nittany lion. What's a Nittany lion? It's because of the park, and like he goes this whole spiel. You'll love it, Jack. I'll send you that, and then there's another one where they do like it's like all the SEC. Well, now they got to do a whole bunch more. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, we'll do that. I'll send you some stuff. I'll drop it in the chat.
Most definitely, Perry. We'll hit you up for the NBA preview show because we sold out on that. The seats were sold out for last year's. James King said, "Big booty female wrestlers." Woo! You need to join us on Saturday night for that, baby. Because I got a few good ones for you
on Me TV.
So
WrestleMania TV.
That's the unhinged part.
No, the unhinged part is Facebook Live. See the Seduce colored shirts, and we drink with our pinky out is on Me TV. But
they got you wearing the college shirts?
Yeah. that t-shirt and cigar and we like the APA on Facebook and Instagram Live and all that. We like the APA, baby. So
Yeah,
join us
yeah.
on Saturday night. It get dirty in here. It get dirty. So for the gentleman Jack Carr, the Midnight Rider, the boss BJ is on assignment. I'm the big guy KG. Baby, we don't do no overtime. We are out of here. And it's always Faye Jackson, Perry. You said Charity King or Faye Jackson. It's always Faye, baby.